The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio. From hot dogs to cool kitties, this is Darkside of the Pooch.
Darkside of the Pooch. We have not said a word to each other. I just wanted to start the show out the back because sometimes you and I have some really remarkable things to say off air, and then we start the show, and I'm like, hell, we could have just done a show on what we just talked about. So I thought I'd just let it rip.
Why not?
I saw something today. This Dark Side of the Pooch, by the way, brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics in Homewood. They have over 300,000 comics. If you're looking for some really funky toys and stuff like that for the holidays or something that you don't think they make anymore, go find out. He's at the Rossbridge Animal Hospital. He owns the joint, Dr. Rab Stewart. Saw something today I've never seen before. I was at a meeting, and my dog comes to this meeting with me. It's a little bit of a therapy meeting. And everyone in the meeting loves my dog being there because when they speak, he just walks around, they pet him, and it's like a therapy dog. They love him. And so at the end of the meeting, we hold hands and we say a prayer together. And this woman next to me, she says, I think your dog wants to hold hands with us. And I said, oh, and I looked down and he was dry humping the air. Do you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. He was dry humping but there was nothing down there. And then he would stop and he'd look down at his wiener and then look back up and just start like in the middle, and of course some people thought it was funny. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he could not control himself. Wasn't rubbing up against a knee or arm or anything. Was just dry humping the air. What's he doing? I've never seen that before. What the hell is my dog doing?
Well, I think he was probably a little anxious.
Do you think?
I think he was a little anxious because I don't think it was a dominance thing because he wasn't doing it to anyone or anything, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he was probably a little, and not like a bad anxious, you know. I mean, not like so anxious that you need to make changes or adjustments or whatever. But yeah, I think he was just. It's almost like it's like verbal diarrhea of a person, you know. Kind of get nervous and how to come.
Well, I thought for a minute maybe the woman, her name's Rebecca, she was sitting next to me. She loves my dog and she'll pet the dog as long as he's sitting there, she'll pet him. And I was thinking maybe she was petting him and obviously you pet a dog long enough, they're going to get aroused. I mean, this feels good. I mean, you got a hand
over. But he's been neutered, right? He's
neutered. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, his the pencil eraser was coming out. And I thought, oh, maybe he's just horny, because it feels good. And maybe she inadvertently touched something or scratched the inside of his thigh that it really felt good or whatever. But I looked down there, everything was legit. It was all good, and there was nothing crazy going on. And you know, everyone got a good laugh out of it. He didn't know what was going on, but he had no clue. But I've never seen that before. I've seen dry peas, you know, where he just stops at a bush and hikes the leg and nothing comes out. I get that, I get it, but I've never seen a dry hump before or an air hump.
Hey, well, you know, we just finished Halloween. Maybe there's a ghost, maybe there's a dog ghost running around that was under there that we can't see.
Speaking of Halloween, did you have any emergencies? Any dogs getting into Snickers bars? Any chocolate situations? Anybody eating a can of Whoppers or anything?
Always.
Yeah.
Every Halloween, every single Halloween.
Go through a basic phone call that comes into your office at 208-0301, and it's Halloween. Tell me what happens.
So the first thing that we do is we get the dog's weight, and hopefully we have a current weight.
What do they say? What do they say?
Weight.
No, take me from the phone call. They call up and they go, hello, is this Rossbridge Animal Hospital? Yes. What can I do for you? What's the person say?
All right. I'll give you one of the calls from Friday.
Okay.
2 of my dogs ate 7 of the following. 7 of the following. Okay. Fun size Kit Kat, fun size M&Ms, fun size Snickers. Okay. They ate 7 each of those.
Oh, 7 each.
I don't know what to do.
Okay.
What do I need to do? So, we
7 each. That's like 21 pieces of candy.
7 each. Yeah. But they're fun size.
Yeah. The fun size, of course, not the real size.
They're fun size. So, we get the pet's weight, and this is a very good client. She comes in when she needs to. So we have current weights on, and then we calculate how much the dog would need to eat in order to have side effects.
Yeah.
And so one of them, let's assume that each dog ate it all, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So we made the assumption that if the big dog ate it all.
And when you say
he
big dog,
was
give me
safe.
poundage. Give me poundage.
He was almost 100 pounds.
Okay.
So he would have been safe.
Okay. 100 pounds,
The small
21 pieces
dog.
of fun size candy. So he's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Small dog.
Small dog would not have been safe.
Poundage.
50.
Small dog's 50 pounds. That's a big dog. All right. That's a big small dog.
50.
All right. 50.
Yeah. But
50
you,
pounds.
like you said, it's 21 pieces of candy.
That's Rainer size. That's yeah. Okay. And then
So we told her that she needed to bring the smaller dog in because we have to assume that he ate all of it, and then we would make him barf, and we would give him some stomach settlers, and make it so he doesn't absorb the toxins from the chocolate.
yeah. And I'm assuming he also ate the paper too. I mean, it wasn't like they were all shucked.
Yeah, but the paper is no big deal.
Yeah.
They're going to pass that.
Yeah.
So then, about 30 minutes goes by, and anytime we have a situation like this, we tell the owner, you need to come in now. Like, don't go to some store, or don't go get lunch, or whatever, because if you come in 3 or 4 hours later, then a lot of that may be already absorbed.
It's too late,
and getting metabolized and get sick from it. So about a half hour went by and we never heard from her. And so then I checked, and then the front office said, oh yeah, so she has cameras at home, and she went back and looked, and it was the big dog that ate it all. She can confirm it's the big dog that ate it all. So okay, great, don't have to come in.
Okay, good.
Then there was another dog. So this guy calls. My dog ate a chocolate muffin and some vitamins.
Vitamins.
And I don't some vitamins. I don't know about the vitamins. So we get calls like this a good bit of the time.
Sure.
And if the owner can tell us what the medication is, then we can look it up in our formulary. And sometimes we can, because look, I mean, gosh, there's millions of drugs out there. Yeah. And I mean, I wish I knew them all. I don't, especially if they're human drugs. I don't know what they do, Yeah. So, but if there's crossover, if an animal can take a human drug, it's going to be in our formulary. And so we can look up what are the side effects, what is the toxic dose. We can look all that stuff up. But occasionally we'll get a medication where we don't know. It's not in our formulary. It's not a dog drug. It's not, we don't know. So the guy was like, yeah, it was this. And it's not in our formulary. So we have them call ASPCA because they have toxicologists who are specialists. They went to more vet school than I did after vet school. Mm-hmm. And so they have more resources than we have. Yeah. Now you got to pay them. It's like $110, I think, to get them on the phone and talk to them, and they'll walk you through everything. I have never once had a medication that they could not figure out.
Wow.
So, anyway, and so they called ASPCA and they said, no, you're good. You don't need to go in. And so that's the beauty of it, because sometimes that's what you get. Yeah, you got to pay $110 or whatever, but it saves you from coming in and spending $400 or $500 with us on an emergency call. Yeah. Now, sometimes the opposite of that happens, and the ASPCA person says you need to get in right now, have the dog decontaminated, and have them treated. So.
Let's go back, and I know you've answered this question a million times, but I'm going to get an email. So info@TonyCurryRadio.net. What's wrong with chocolate? Why can't dogs have chocolate?
It messes with their neurological system and their cardiovascular system. So it can make them have seizures, make them have heart problems.
Okay. And it can be lethal.
I mean, if they eat enough of it, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if your dog would get a hold of candy and you don't know if he ate the candy or not, obviously you want to take the high road and bring the animal in. But if your dog was eating candy and you had no clue that he was even remotely close to it, would it be something that if he lived through that first digestion, that he'd be okay? He would pass it and it would go away? Or what are some of the symptoms of him doing that? Because inevitably some dog is going to get into some kid's pillowcase full of candy tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can faint, syncope episodes, like seizure-like activity. Those are things that you're going to see with chocolate. Milk chocolate is not as bad. They can eat more milk chocolate and not if they eat enough milk chocolate, they can still cause these symptoms.
What about gummies?
But the type of chocolate that is worse is dark chocolate. And then you got this baking chocolate, which I don't understand. I don't bake in my house. My wife doesn't bake. We don't, whatever. But I guess there's some kind of like cocoa powder, baking stuff that's really bad for them. They don't, let's say, and this is, I'm just throwing arbitrary numbers out there. Let's say a dog could eat 5 ounces of, and it depends on the size of the dog. Say you could eat 5 ounces of milk chocolate. Well, if it got like 1 ounce of this like baking chocolate, could do the same thing that 5 ounces of milk chocolate could do.
All right, there you go. Info TonyCurryRadio.net, info TonyCurryRadio.net. Tabitha sends a lot of emails, and she always sends good emails. She is in Mountain Brook. I'm assuming it's the same Tabitha that writes in. She said, love listening to the show, Darkside the Pooch, one of my favorite podcasts, blah, 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 da, 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 da. I am hiring people over the holidays to pet sit my 3 dogs. Would you please explain, Dr. Reb, to people out there that are thinking about doing this as a side gig to make some extra cash, what exactly pet sitting entails? I'm assuming... I know there's several different things. I have a house with a dog and a chinchilla, and I'm going to be gone for 6 days, and I don't want to board the dog, or I can't find a place to board the dog. And so I have a next door neighbor come over 2 or 3 times a day, take him out for a quick walk, feed him, good to go. Know there's going to be some accidents, make sure everything's fed, feed the fish, blah, blah, blah. 6 days, he's fine. And then you have people that they call it pet sitting, where they expect you to come over to the house and actually walk the dog, spend time with the dog. This is not like 15 minutes. Hey, boy, let's go out and throw a ball out in the backyard and then leave the dog back in the bathroom for another 12 hours. This is called pet sitting. Could you please explain that? Because people that look at their animal or their dog as a member of the family, that's like taking grandpa out for a roll down the sidewalk in his wheelchair for 5 minutes and then stuffing him back in the bathroom and saying, see you in 12 hours. Because they're a loved one, right? And then in pet sitting, like if I just got someone watching the house, I'll give them like $20 or $30 a day, $200 for the week. But if I'm asking them to go over there and actually spend time with my dog, I'm gonna have to give more than that. So explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. Mm-hmm. I think in dog sitting, you get what you pay for and you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that you get when you have someone stay at your house is that they're more in tune with what the animal is doing, and the animal gets kind of good companionship. I think if you're going to have someone pet sit, it's best that the animal either goes to their house or that person comes to your house and stays with you. Because yes, the problem that you will run into potentially, if you just have someone come in, give the dog food, let it outside for, 10 minutes, 3 times a day or 4 times a day or whatever it is. A lot of things can get overlooked. Like, is the dog really eating? Hopefully the person is aware enough to say, okay, well, I put food in here this morning. There's still food in here. Maybe we need to call the vet, or maybe I need to call the owner and see what's going on. But they may not, and they won't know the dog's energy level. If the dog is up and moving around and feeling its normal self. And so, just having someone come in, first of all, if you're going to have someone pet sit, they need to come over there, in my opinion, at least 4 times a day.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Our dogs that are boarded here, they go out a bunch.
The thing is, now everyone's got cameras. Yeah, I know when you guys board, you do fantastic work, and I know you also do half days of play and this kind of thing. And I realize you can't have a specific person with every animal, but I know because my dog's always really tired when he comes home from your place.
Yeah, and you just, especially with old animals and animals that are on medication, you just have to have people that know what they're doing and they care. And so having someone at your house or having the pet go to someone else's house, if you're not going to board them, I think that's the way to do it.
There you go. Info TonyCurryRadio.net, info TonyCurryRadio.net. Sally in Birmingham just adopted a dog from the Shelby County. She said it's fantastic, but she swears the dog is blind. She said it's walking into walls. She just got it. She said it's about 1.5 years old, and it seems like it's just wandering around. It does not have hair over its eyes. She goes, how can I tell if my dog is blind? She goes, I would assume they would have told me. And I would assume even if it's blind in one eye, that would probably deter from being able to see some proper things. But if your dog's walking the walls, that's weird.
It's getting vision, okay, in animals. It's a yes or no. They can't read eye charts, so you can't say, well, my dog's nearsighted or farsighted, or, my dog's vision is, 200 whatever, however they gauge that in people,
Yeah.
it's not 20/20, whatever it is. You can't do that in dogs. It's either can the dog see, yes or no. We do what's called a menace test, which is really simple. Anyone at home can do it. You just face your dog, you take your hand, and you try not to do it really forcibly so that it would push air in its face. But I'll just do it to the camera. I mean, just do this. The reason it's called a menace response is because it's a menacing move. And so anytime you do it to a dog that is, over about 6 weeks old, because it is a learned response. If you do it to an animal that's too young, they haven't learned that they should blink at that.
Yeah.
But if the animal is old enough to know that it could potentially get hit in the face, it's going to blink.
Yeah.
It's really simple to do. If it doesn't blink, then you need to take it to your veterinarian and have them look at it.
Okay. And there's nothing to do, or can dogs be farsighted and nearsighted? Can you tell if they are? Is there any way you can improve a dog's eyesight if in fact it doesn't have good eyesight?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can't read an eye chart.
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing how well they can see.
Yeah.
It's just, can they see, yes or no?
There you go. All right. Info TonyCurryRadio.net. Danny in Mountain Brook wants to know what types of breeds have their ears cropped, and why do we crop their ears in the first place?
It's just for aesthetics. There's no real reason for it. But Great Danes classically have their ears done, ears cropped. Dobermans are another breed that have it done. Cane Corsos, they really kind of big, almost like they're just massive, meaty dogs. And there are others too. Like, I'm sure I can't name every breed, but those are probably 3 most common ones that we see. And it's purely aesthetics.
Sure, just to make it look good. But I'm assuming it's not painful for the dog, but you're still having to cut the ear cut. How do you crop an ear?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's painful. Yeah. And it's not something that, it's really fallen out of fashion, with a lot of places. There's still people that do it, but, people kind of people have started to take a stance. Like, there are some people that maybe just won't do it anymore because they feel like it's, somewhat cruel. It's an art form. I've never cropped a dog's ear, mainly because you got to know what you're doing. Yeah. It's not, and I guess since I've been out of school, that's when it's kind of started falling by the wayside. So I never learned how to do it. They never taught me how to do it in school. And you probably will see less and less people that know how to do it.
Darkside the Pooch brings us Darkside of the Pooch and Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Sasquatch Toys and Comics brings us Darkside the Pooch is what I meant to say every single week. They have a great store there in Citation Court there in Homewood. Check out Seth, his entire crew, over 300,000. That's right. Over 300,000 comics. They have Legos, you name it. They've got all kinds of great stuff. And your emails are wonderful. We appreciate that. RossBridgeVet.com, RossBridgeVet.com. We talk some classic rock around here, by the way. I had a crazy dream that I want to share with you in just a second, but I have one more email here. Stacy in Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown, says that they've recently adopted 2 greyhounds from a greyhound track up there, and says the best adoption they've ever had. She said, would you please tell people that just because a dog loves to run doesn't mean it won't be a great adopted pet? Oh yeah. Greyhounds are awesome. And believe it or not, they're pretty docile. I've heard that. Yeah, when you get them, in the house, and we don't see them much. I wish we did. I wish we had a larger clientele of greyhounds, because they're very sweet dogs, and they have a lot of interesting like kind of medical things with them. They are sensitive to anesthetics, so you have to usually use a much lower dose or kind of change your anesthetic protocol. Mm-hmm. They're universal blood donors. So, for the most part, you can give their blood to any typed dog. Oh. It doesn't matter. It won't hurt them. Universal blood donors. And, they have, very, common abnormalities in their blood work that are breed specific, and they're not truly sick. Like, their hematocrit can run really high. Their
creatine kinase can be really high because they're very muscly. So, there's just some certain idiosyncrasies with the breed that you have to keep in mind when you're treating them.
Okay, there you go. So last night, you have these dreams, most of the time you don't remember the dream. Sometimes you'll have a dream and you'll remember like 2 or 3 days later. And then you have these dreams about, people you maybe dated in your life. You're like, holy, like I got to call that woman right now. Like it's that really real dream, So I had this dream last night. It was a Field of Dreams dream where I had someone whispering in my ear, "Go find Sheena Easton." And I wasn't listening to Sheena music. I didn't hear any Sheena Easton music. I'm trying to think if I was in a Walmart, because sometimes you may subliminally hear like a Sheena Easton song for Your Eyes Only or something. Next thing you know, and it just gets in your brain and you don't realize you're even singing it. And then you're having a dream. But it said, "Go find her and ask her to have a cup of coffee with you." And so I pulled it up and she's on tour. And she's like at Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. She's at a bunch of casinos. She's doing the Collingswood Grand Ballroom in New Jersey. She's playing Waukegan Casino in Illinois. She's in Elkhart, Indiana, which I know this is in December. She's in Cincinnati, Ohio at Ludlow Garage. I know exactly where that is. I used to actually do gigs down there on December 10th. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, and so I was telling a friend of mine, he goes, "Well, you're going, aren't you?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Really?" And I said, "Dude, this could be like something really special." He goes, "Is she married?" And I said, and so I did some research. She's been married 4 times, but she is not married at this time. She hasn't had a spouse in like 12 or 13 years. She still looks rocking. She looks pretty good.
I just pulled her up. Yeah.
She's 66 years old. So she's got me by 6 or 7 years, but I was kind of like, and I remember when, Marianne, remember her, Dawn Wells, she was in town. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. And we had her on our show. And after I got off the phone, she said, "Have you lived here for a while?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Would you mind taking me out for a cup of coffee and just show me around town? I'm in town for a couple of days." And I was kind of like, it's Dawn Wells. And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'd like to do that." And I was with, Al DeGreco sitting next to me. He's like, "You're not really going to go out with her, are you?" I said, "I'm not going out with her." He goes, "Dude, she's asking you out." I said, No. She says she's supposed to go have a cup of coffee. He goes, "Dude, she's wanting to go." She was here for the World of Wheels Custom Auto Show. She was going to sign some autographs. And he goes, "No, I think she's asking you to go have a cup of coffee with her to take her out." And I said, and he goes, "Yeah, you may want to send that by your old lady first." And I was like, "Really?" And so I decided to say no, because I pulled up some pictures, and again, she was like 70 something years old. And I didn't want to lend her down the wrong road. I guess I was 53, 54, something like that. So maybe that's where maybe I got the cup of coffee. I don't know.
Well, with a platform like yours, you could probably talk to her management, just get her on a show.
I would think so. And I thought, well, maybe I should get on Twitter and follow her. The only problem with Twitter and try to get someone, because the only way you can DM them is make sure they're following each other, right? So in order to get someone to follow you, you actually have to get on your Twitter account and say, "Hey, follow me." Now, if you put at whatever and then say follow me, then it doesn't go out to your masses, but it will just go to them. But then they're probably thinking you're a freak. Like Sheena Easton's going to go, "Sure, this guy, his father 3 in Birmingham, so they had a dream about me, and come to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and we'll go out and have a cup of coffee."
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a different angle than that.
Yeah, we're going to do something different. But I think if she Googles me, she may find that I'm a pretty decent guy. I
think she will. I have very vivid dreams. I dream almost every night. Every single night I dream. And last night, my dream is not near as exciting as yours. I in my dream, my son was younger than he is now. Mm-hmm. But I had this like revelation in the dream that, he's already got 1 foot out the door. He's 12, and in my dream, I was, telling my wife, I feel like we don't have much time left. and I started crying.
Yeah. Well, you don't.
to my wife. And so yeah, every night I've had horrifying dreams. Like a few nights ago, I had a dream that I can't get away from. I'm stuck in this house. I can't get away from these people. They're like grabbing me. Can't get away.
Oh.
But I was watching this TV show on HBO called Task, and it's it's an 8 episode or 7 episode like standalone.
Yeah.
And so I think that came from that, because there's people trying to get out of this house. They're like tied in with like some motorcycle biker gang. But man, I've had dreams that I swear Stephen King could write a book about some of my dreams.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and God sent a lot of things through dreams, right? In the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was all dreams, right? The Virgin Mary, for God's sakes, got it in a dream. Everyone got dreams. And so I don't want to put too much behind these things, because normally it's like I take a little piece of here, 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 and you just throw it all together. And you're like, well, why was I, dry humping a monkey in an 18-wheeler going down I-65? What? And you're like, you're stopping at a rest home and you're like, you don't know what, so normally you just kind of laugh about it, but occasionally there'll be something in a dream that is like only the dream would know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're like, wait a minute now. How did it's in your brain, but you had forgotten about, but you're like, how would that dream have known that happened? Kind of like someone actually got in your head and planted something. Those are kind of wicked. But I did have a dream about an old girlfriend. Her name is Sherry. She was the first person I ever fell in love with. I was like 18. She was like 22, 23. She was rocking. And I was like, I've got to contact this woman. I've got to contact this woman. And I knew she was on Facebook. She's married. And I went for it. I just said, listen, it's crazy. But I'm divorced and I had this dream about you and something told me to reach out to you. And so I'm doing it. And I hope you're great, but I didn't want to miss out on anything, blah, 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 blah. And she wrote me right back. She's like, oh, first loves, aren't they great? Blah, 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 blah. And basically made me feel like a heel, made me feel like an idiot, but I'm glad I did it. But I mean, cause I don't know why the hell she popped into my brain. I was like, why am I thinking about her like 40 years later? And I'm thinking to myself, maybe this is a Sleepless in Seattle thing. Like maybe we're supposed to hook back up or something. I don't know. But you never know.
The subconscious mind is crazy, man.
It really is. And so, she goes, oh, this first love. You remember her first love? And because she was the only girl that really broke my heart outside my wife, obviously. But I mean, she spit me out, bro. It hurt. And then she was
I don't know. Like there was there's a guy who's a rock critic, Chuck Klosterman, and he has written a lot of awesome books too. And he wrote a book. I can't remember the name of it, but basically there was a question in there. He has like, I think 12 questions that he asks every woman before he starts dating them or before he gets serious with them.
Okay.
One of the questions was, if you had a machine that could record every single one of your dreams and you could watch them anytime you wanted. But the trick is that all your family members could watch them too.
No.
Would you use the machine?
No, that's not going to happen. No, I thought the question was going to be, if you could record every dream, would you ever go back to watch? Because I think it scared the shit out of a lot of people, because we miss half the stuff. You know what I mean? And when you wake up in the middle of the night from one of those things, you're like, there's no way I'm going to forget that dream. And then you wake up like 4 days later and then you remember, oh, I had that dream Tuesday night. Because when you're in that subconscious REM state, you think, you wake up, I don't need to write that down because I'm going to remember that tomorrow morning. And sure, shoot, you don't.
I'll tell you, the weirdest thing to me about dreams is the fact that your emotions are plugged into the dreams. Like your feelings are like, you feel them, And that's the difference. Like when you're watching a show, watching something on TV, watching a movie, I mean, you can kind of understand like what the characters are feeling and what their state of mind is. But when you're in that dream, there is no context needed. There's no context needed. You feel emotions, and there are things that happen in that dream that you can't you can't verbalize because it wasn't something that was seen. It was something that was felt.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to put it. That's I've never heard that. And you're spot on. It's a feeling kind of thing.
That's craziest thing.
I do think that dreams can tell you where you are in life, to an extent. I think it can tell you, what, obviously when my life's going really well, my dreams are a lot different. When I'm going through chaos, when I was going through my divorce and stuff like that, I was having much worse dreams. There is occasionally I'll have a dream where everything should be great. I'm super blessed. And I go to bed with good thoughts, but there are different times in my life where sometimes you just dream about things that are just outside of your subconscious. Maybe from 3 or 4 years ago, I went through a phase in my life where I could dream about anything I wanted if I thought about it before I went to bed.
Wow.
And that happened for about 6 months, where if I really thought about something, I could actually dream about it. But most of them, it's like it's your subconscious. It's a bunch of insecurity things. A lot of them, I always have the dream that I went back to college, and that college has been going for 3 months and I haven't been to a class yet. And I'm like, and everyone's like, where the hell you been? And I'm like, oh, and I'm 3 months late already, and I don't know any of the teachers, and that insecurity thing. I hate that. So yeah. But
I have that one. I have the one where I'm supposed to be. I realized right before finals that I never went to the class.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I can't, this happens probably once a month. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. I gotta log in to like my, the school's website and figure out where this class is. I don't even know where it is. Yeah. And then I can't remember what my username or password is. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Just walking down the hallway, and I have no clue where I'm at. I'm like, I don't even know what building I'm in. Yeah.
My teeth fall out. Teeth fall out of my dreams.
Do you have the teeth? Yeah, that's a common one. The other thing is I will inevitably, if I usually don't fall asleep with the TV on, but I do when my kids aren't here. Just because I can, I do just because I can. I know I'm going to feel like hell the next day, but I just do it because I can. But
sleep timer.
But if Ancient Aliens is on, or Skinwalker Ranch or something like that, one of those weird kind of things, I will have some adjusted dreams. I will have some strange things. But I've also fallen asleep to like Televangelist. It was I can't really remember what I dreamed about there. Go watch some David Jeremiah later on tonight and see what happens. All right, my man. Hey, I appreciate you. Fantastic stuff. Tell people how they can find you.
208-0301, rossbridgevet.com. We're also on Facebook.
Sheena Easton is only 5'1".
That is fairy-like.
Yeah, it really is. I'm looking to see if she's going to be getting in. She's New York, Pennsylvania.
Dude, she would literally come up to your navel.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, I'm 1.5 feet taller than she is.
Seriously, she would come up to your boob.
Can you think how many people though do this kind of thing though? I mean, people that reach out to them and go, no, I'm not a freak. I promise, I'm not weird. I just had that, and she's probably heard like 1,000,000 times. She's heard it 1,000,000 times. Like, please just give me. It's what's his face in Field of Dreams. It's like, dude, I know you think this is crazy, and I drove halfway across the country to get to your place to find you, but just and he's like, get out of here.
She's heard it 1,000,000 times, but she's never heard it from you.
Yeah. Maybe it's just that moment in time. And if I go, I heard his voice right off the bat, she's going to go, okay.
Oh yeah. Don't.
I heard his voice, not that we're going to make love or anything, but to have a cup of coffee with you. Would you just go out and have a cup of coffee with me tonight? I mean,
take it. She's in Cincinnati, man.
I know where Ludlow Garage is. So, yeah. And that's a small joint too. It's like 300 people at that place.
Hey, front row. You get a front row easy.
Yeah. What happened though if we fell in love?
You'd be on tour.
I'd take my kids with me.
Yeah, you'd be on tour.
Would you do Pat Benatar, Sheena Easton, or Sheryl Crow?
That's not even close. It's Sheryl Crow. It's not even close.
I danced with Sheryl Crow once. Sheryl Crow was at Jay Barker and Sarah Barker's wedding. And I was with my wife at the time, and she walked up behind me and she said, pardon me. And she goes, I really like to dance with tall men. Would you dance with me? And I looked at my wife at the time and I said, she goes, go for it. It's not like you have a shot. I said, oh. And Cheryl looked at her and she goes, well, we'll see about that. And I was like, so we danced, and it was kind of a groove thing. And then a slow song came on, and I was like, okay, now we're going to see what we're made of here. And she kind of looked at me. I said, I'm all in, man. If you want to, she said, you don't even have to dance on my feet. I said, I'll dance with you. And she said, that's fine. And then by that time, Jay came over and gave me a nudge or something like that. He's like, hey, what are you doing with Sarah's best friend? Blah, blah, blah. You've heard Sarah, good friends. And there's pictures of me and her somewhere, but I've always wanted that picture. But I mean, Sheryl Crow went out with Eric Clapton, for God's sakes. Could you imagine? I mean, what kind of question would you ask Sheryl Crow if you wanted a date with her?
I mean, she wrote a song about Eric Clapton.
Yeah, she did.
Favorite Mistake. That's about Eric Clapton.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine?
If I could, I would probably, if I could ask her anything, it would be, do you have time for me to learn a bass line to one of your songs? You play and sing. I'm just going to play the bass. And can we video it? Like, that would be my question.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
But she's just she's classic. I mean, and she has not aged. Awesome. She's not aged a day. The cover of Tuesday Night Music Club.
Yeah. No, she's beautiful. I mean, and that's 30 years ago. Yeah. That thing was out a long time. I remember when I heard that song, all she wants to do is have some fun, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, man, this gal's not kind of sticking power, because the song's like, it was about California. Bubblegum. Yeah, and I was like, this ain't, and next thing you know, she's writing this unbelievably beautiful music. I could probably, I mean, I could get in contact with her if I needed to, if I wanted to.
Well, I would love to play the bass, even though she's a bassist, and she would look at me and be like, "What? No, I'm playing the bass."
Yeah, she can play bass now. All right. Hey, go have yourself a nice dream. Do me a favor, a little homework for Dr. Ab. We usually don't give out good teases on this show, so we're going to have a tease. I want you put a piece of paper, a pen by your bedside. And over the next few nights, I want you to write down some of the dreams you have, and then I'm going to go over them with you. And I'm going to do the same thing on my end, and we'll go over them next week. How's that?
Dream journal.
Yeah, we'll do a dream journal. You want to?
Yeah, I like it. Let's do it.
I'm going to put some paper by my thing and write down, just try to remember as much as you possibly can. And don't eat Mexican food right before you go to bed, because that'll fire you.
What does that do? What does that do to your dreams?
I don't know. If I eat right before I go to bed, man, I'm having some funky things.
Well, then you should.
Yeah, maybe I will. That's a good idea. All right, brother. I appreciate you.
See you, man.
Brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Check them out. 300,000 comics. Everything from Evil Knievel toys to Legos to Dark Star stuff to you name it, they got it. And perhaps some of my memorabilia. I'm thinking about maybe letting go of some of my rock and roll memorabilia. You see all that stuff right behind you? They got all kinds of frame stuff, all kinds of fish things like that. So
Jim Irsay, did you see Jim Irsay's releasing his, they're putting his collection on sale?
Oh, really? Yeah, he just passed away, right? Well, and he had like a ton of guitars. He's got crazy stuff. He's got a pocket knife that was Abraham Lincoln's. Yeah. He was playing tonight in Atlanta.
Who?
Paul McCartney.
Really?
Tonight.
Dang, we should have gone to that.
No, I was going to go. I was supposed to go with a friend of mine. I was sitting there. I said, we're going to go to that show in November. He's like, let's do it. And I just saw him this morning. And I said, what are you going on? He goes, I'm going to the Paul McCartney show with my wife. I said, your wife? I said, I thought we were going to the show together. And I was like, you're almost pulling a rab on me here. I almost had to call you out. He's like, I don't know. What are you doing tomorrow night? You want to go to the fish shop? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go to the fish shop. So I had to call him out. I was like, dude, he goes, I'm sorry, man, but the wife, she loves the Beatles. So he's gonna, and he goes, this is probably the last time he plays. I said, thanks for letting me know. I said, you know what?
Not going to be around much longer, man. He was like 88 years old.
After you, I'm seeing Sheena Easton at Stinky's Garage in Cincinnati, Ohio next week. How about that? And having coffee with her. You having coffee with Paul? Probably not. Screw you old man. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, see you later.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.